The women's volleyball season has come to an end. Alongside head coach Courtney Draper, Mike Lefko with you to recap this past year. Coach, you guys ended on a pretty high note, taking on SMU in the final weekend of the regular season. On the road, they're the top team in the conference, and you go in and beat them. How nice was that to see from your team?
It was an awesome performance by every player that got to touch the floor that night, and even the bench was really encouraging and rowdy, and every single person on our team had a part in that win. And I was just really proud of their performance. We were sharp from start to finish, even in the third set when we lost that one. Their drive and composure was great going into that fourth set. So to be able to beat SMU, who obviously is an NCAA team, they've been getting votes for the top 25. I think their RPI is right around 30. So to be able to grab a win on the road against such a strong team really says a lot about the fight that our girls had in them that day. I was very proud of their performance.
It's interesting. It kind of sums up the season that you guys can go do that and beat the top team in the conference. And against some of these tougher teams, really, your team had been in the matches, then sometimes just couldn't close. You think maybe it's because, hey, this team was still pretty young in a lot of your skill positions, and they were learning to kind of play with pressure down the stretch?
Yes, I think winning is a process. And we had a very tough schedule early, which probably didn't give them the confidence that they needed maybe to have an outstanding conference season. But we return all of our point scorers next year. Every starting attacker for us comes back, and that's where all your points come from, is the arms, the hitters. So I think it's going to be a great spring and in turn a great fall next year.
One of those hitters coming back, Dakota Hampton, who is named second team all-conference. Certainly a worthy recognition after her year, where she just put up double-double after double-double, it seemed like.
Yes, when we recruited Dakota, she was one of the most consistent all-around 6 rotation players. You're pretty much going to get the same performance from her every night. A couple super high matches, but for the most part, she's just been on a great incline. Her passing has always been good, but her overall backcourt game has improved tremendously. And as far as offense for her, she's been a little bit more of a finesse kind of a player, but just late in the season, she's really come up with a little bit more physicality to her attacking game. So she had, against Memphis and SMU, her numbers were unreal. Those were really probably her best 2 matches of her career. So again, she's on a great incline in all of her skill areas, so I'm excited to see what she can do her senior year next year.
And then Wiley Devlin caps off her career after the final weekend, being named to the conference honor roll. Fitting recognition for her whole body of work as well, it seems like.
Oh my goodness, yes, and she too. She continued to get better every game this year. I mean, her last several matches were all 20 dig or more performances, so I'm just really happy for her that she was able to finish her career on such a high note.
What about this season overall? If you look back at it, what are some of the highlights? You really had some interesting matches, went to some interesting places. What are you guys going to look back on about some of the best moments from this past year?
Yeah, so of course the record wasn't exactly what we wanted it to be, but again, I just saw such pride in our program and desire from the kids, and they really enjoy each other's company. It's a nice group of people, not just great players, but great people. And I think we had a lot of highlights. It's hard to pick just one, but playing Penn State at home in the Sun Dome with a few thousand fans was really exciting and great for volleyball in the Tampa Bay area. Great for our university, of course. We traveled to Nebraska. I think Nebraska's maybe the 4th overall seed for the NCAA tournament. They had over 8,000 fans. So for our kids to be able to play in that type of environment, that's just a really exciting experience that no one can ever take away from them. Again, we didn't have the success that we wanted in the win-loss column, but some of those things were just tremendous. And like we already talked about, the win over SMU, it really shows these kids that if they keep working and they just stay focused, that it really is a very bright future for USF volleyball.
So what's the plan now? What does the NCAA allow you to do in the off-season for your returning players, and are they kind of all on their own until you're allowed to work with them again?
So we'll meet with a team here to close out the fall season. That's actually scheduled for today, and then obviously they have to focus on their finals and schoolwork that they're closing out this semester with, and they work so hard throughout the fall. Like they've now earned themselves. They deserve a little break, a little downtime from volleyball. This is one of the fittest teams I've ever had, so I know they really care about their fitness, and they'll do workouts on their own throughout the holidays, but we really won't provide them with a workout or anything. They just deserve that little break. They've earned it for themselves, and we'll regroup at the beginning of January once they return from their break, and just get excited for the new year.
So what's going to be the message to this team? That, hey, the record wasn't there this year, but we have all of these pieces back and could build to a special season?
Right. You can't change what happened in the past. You can only learn from it and grow from it. So, as a staff, we're trying to grow and continue to get better for our team. And obviously, our players have some work to do in the gym. I think it really just comes down to consistency. When everybody's playing their best, as they did against SMU, we're really very, very dangerous. It's just we have a few players that are a little bit too up and down. So if we can just keep them, in an upward trend, I think that we're going to be in really good shape for next year.
Well, thanks for watching all season long here on the Courtney Draper Show. That'll do it for this year, but stay tuned to USF Athletics for all volleyball coverage. Thanks for watching here on the Courtney Draper Show.